As Your Heart Betrays You, Part 26. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork by Evenart Adam on Instagram and Tumblr. I will leave them linked in the description box. And also, if you haven't heard the previous 25 parts, those are in the description box too. Go check them out. Now then, if you haven't liked, subscribed, blah, 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 chances are you just skip the intro. Or you just don't have a YouTube account. Or you're just binge watching this and decide not to. I don't know. Anyway, if you're listening, comment the Agrest brand. Please enjoy As Your Heart Betrays You, Part 26. Adrdien Agrest, 23 years old, on the coast of northern France.
So, what have you been up to all this time?
Adrdien looked across the table at Nino. He'd spent the night, and they were sharing breakfast.
I thought a lot about it once I got here, and I decided I wanted to develop some talents.
Nino's eyebrows knit together.
So, piano, Chinese, multi-million-dollar company, those aren't talents?
He laughed.
No, something that's mine, not gifted to me. You pulled the Agrest estate out of bankruptcy single-handedly. I wouldn't call that a gift. Still, Adrdien said, it's not mine. Agree to disagree. So, what brought this on? Did you and Ladybug get in a fight or something?
Was it because they got in a fight? He scratched above his elbow, trying to figure out how to articulate it for an outsider with an inside scoop.
My heart. Your heart? Yeah.
He thought about the way he broke down after a week of peace, how he slept for 12 hours a day, how he worried the hives that developed a month in would scar him for life, how he'd burst into tears when he did something properly instead of when he failed.
Do you know what the medicine is for your heart? Do you know what the medicine is for your heart? Potato chips in a Disney movie? The things you like. It's important to have them. If you don't, can't live well. Or long, for that matter. But you had things you liked in Paris. Did I?
Adrdien held eye contact.
Or did I base my entire personality around thinking I loved someone?
Nino sighed, shaking his head.
You're not the only one who thinks that way. That I use the ladybug as a gauge for self-validation. She was your goal. Yeah.
He drummed his fingers on the table.
Even if you have a goal, if you don't have anything else you'd like, you can't support yourself. Not really. Does it feel like paradise yet?
Adrdien laughed.
Hearts don't heal that quickly. I don't know, dude. You got an avocado tree now. I'm hiding from strangers now. I saw that. I spent my entire life selling myself to buy other things. If you sell yourself for a high price, they think you're successful. If you sell yourself for cheap, well...
Adrdien didn't know if he should chuckle or sigh.
Then you're a failure. Yeah, which is ridiculous because the standards for happiness don't have anything to do with the price. You can't buy happiness. Adrdien.
Nino cleared his throat, staring at the table.
You can't buy happiness, but when you don't have money, money is everything.
He could never figure out how to respond when someone said something like that.
What I'm saying is that for someone young, wealthy, and healthy, people don't understand why I'm not happy. Are you happier now that you've left Paris behind?
Adrdien drummed the table again.
I'm better. I don't know if I'm happier, but I'm better. If you quote Taylor Swift right now, I'm dumping you.
Ouch, Nino! He clutched his chest in mock pain.
You're really turning your back on all the karaoke we've shared with that zing. So, how far have you come?
I like watching things grow.
Gardening, you mean? I guess. I mean, I'm so far removed from food, like how we actually grow our own food. I can't do it on my own. I can't see Plague being much help. No.
Adrdien shook his head.
The local flower shop knows me as Geppetto. The old man from Pinocchio. Ring-a-ding-ding. Okay, Jep, so you've gardened. You've had panic attacks. You've slept for an envious and concerning amount of time. What else have you been up to? It's been 4 months. Reading.
A smile crossed his face.
You hate reading. I hate being confined to my room with my father's taste in books, Adrdien corrected. I go to the library and read. Geppetto. Library connoisseur. Okay, but there's this little cafe next door to the library, and, man, have you ever had cheesecake? Cheesecake. It's life-changing. You're right. Money isn't everything.
Adrdien furrowed his eyebrows.
Huh?
He missed something.
It's nothing. Keep going. What else, Geppetto? I feel like you're making fun of me. Oh, I am. What else did you do, Geppetto? I'm gonna tell Plague about you throwing away his wheel of cheese if you keep this up. It was 6 years ago, dude!
Nino shook his head, then sighed. Adrdien knew he'd won.
I also installed a toilet. By yourself?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Your father would lose it if he knew.
There is a lot about me my father doesn't know.
Touché, Geppetto.
Hey, Plague? Adrdien raised his voice, and Nino leaned over the table to cover his mouth. Dude! They shared a laugh, and Nino seemed pleased. It was nice to have someone to check up on him.
So, what was that about hives?
Crazy, right? It's like all the gunk I've held back for years finally manifested, and I keep getting sucker-punched by it like it's a school bully.
So, what's next?
With luck, some happiness.
I hope so, man. I do.
Remember that time you hoped I had a good bowel movement?
You can't be happy unless your poops are smooth, my dude. Good to know. I'll pocket that for the next time someone asks if I want a side of black beans.
Nino shook his head and stood.
I'd better get going. You goof.
Gonna give Ladybug a report?
I could not recognize Cat Noir.
You don't have to lie for me. Nino shook his head.
I'm not, dude. You're different. The same, but different. In a twisted way, I'm doing better than I've ever been able to in my adult years. And it'll keep getting better. Stay safe, Adrdien. Stay safe, Nino.
It was Plague who broke the silence of goodbye when Nino left.
Wow, kid.
He burped, finishing the rest of his breakfast.
"What's next for you?"
"I think I'm gonna get another avocado tree." Adrdien put his hands on his hips, looking at the collection of houseplants surrounding him.
"Are you serious?"
"It'll help the crop."
"Oh, you're hopeless,"
Plagg groaned. "But not hopelessly in love." His heart fluttered when he said it aloud. It wasn't a romantic flutter, but life-changing nonetheless.
"You're saying you wouldn't want to kiss Ladybug's face if she walked in right now?"
"I'm saying I don't have the breaking pain of needing to run to her anymore."
"You're cured of the plague?"
No, it's more of a dull ache now."
"You should try Camembert. It's a much more worthwhile investment of labor and love."
"Noted."
"You said that last time, and you know what happened? Nada. I thought we were gonna run away and build a cheese store together. You failed me, kiddo. You hear that?"
"How could I? You remind me at least 4 times per day." Plagg flew away with a smirk, and Adrdien found himself smiling as well. Hopelessly in love. It didn't describe him anymore. He'd broken out of the cycle he'd scratched himself into, coming back to mark territory onto the post day after day, year after year, scared the spotted twine would forget what he was like if he didn't. But now, 4 months without getting a claw stuck, Adrdien found he didn't need it. He didn't need to be hopelessly in love with anyone, even if that anyone was Ladybug. Even if Ladybug was Marinette. Even if breaking up with Marinette was one of his worst decisions, Ladybug or not. Well, best not to keep dwelling on mistakes past. If he trapped himself in a goofy loop, he wouldn't make it to the nursery in a timely manner. If he didn't make it to the nursery, where would he go to buy a plant to fill the void? No. Best to leave his thoughts and his home now. Grabbing a pair of sunglasses, Adrdien turned back to his dinnerware for 2, with Nino's half-filled orange juice sitting on the table. That's right. He didn't need this. Adrdien hung his sunglasses back up, then opened the door. He'd try it. He could do it. Adrdien would exist in plain sight. No more pretending. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still listening, comment hopelessly in love, and I will see you in part 27. Bye!